Will I be wrong about Battlebond? Well, if I am, here's how it's going to happen. So, there are a few things now that we know a little bit more about Battlebond. I stand by my critique of the art. It looks like two clearly different directions. One is some sort of cartoony, unset, mixed with SJW neon hair, and the other is more traditional art. Probably the reprint versus the new card ratio is about that rate. But we now know a little bit more about the rares and mythics in this set. And I think there are two major ways I'll be wrong and that Battlebond will be a, quote, success. But before I go into that, I want to first talk about what actually sells booster packs, okay? I think the professor correctly identified what made master sets a failure, and that was that there just simply wasn't enough value in them. Sure, a good draft set will get people to draft. The question is, when you have a good draft set that has poor ROI, will people still draft it? And the answer, in my opinion, is no. So having a good draft feel is great, especially with the core sets, so the standard release sets. But when I look back at one of my favorite draft formats, which was Triple Cons, the question was, would I have continued to keep paying to play Cons drafts if there wasn't also fetch lands? If there wasn't also Siege Rhinos at that time, which were expensive? If there wasn't a slew of $10 rares in that set? Would I have drafted it as much? And I think after mulling things over, I believe the answer is no. If there was, for example, a great draft format in Homelands, would I draft it? I mean, ironically, once, sure. Things like RTR, which I thought was a great draft format, but at the time there was still Shocklands, which at that time were still worth money. You had cards like Sphinx's Revelation and other high-value pulls that were mixed into a good draft format that made RTR sell so well, in my opinion. So are there purists out there who only care about whether or not a set is good to draft? Sure, but they're like, a tiny portion of the overwhelming sea of people that buy packs. People that move the needle in terms of buying booster packs are people like me. People like me who want to buy a box and have a chance at breaking even. A even smaller chance at actually making money. I know that's lame to some people, the high competitive grinders, the people that, in my opinion, have a small budget for Magic and have found their way to afford it by being really good at draft, and that's admirable. But the real people that move the needle with pack sales are casuals. They are people like me, people like a lot of my subscribers that just bust packs, hoping to break even, hoping to have that mythical box where they have $150 in rares. This is why even the professor's most popular videos are his booster box games. Why do you think that is? It's not because it's just a box opening. It's because of how many boxes can he open for free in a row, right? This is the heart. This is the core of the pack cracker. This is the core of why I used to buy booster boxes. When I could count on the cards not having my investment turn into a Pringle. This was a nice card. Now it's trash. Now it's garbage. It's when that wasn't an issue, I would have still done a lot of unboxings because that in its core is what I like. That's the part of the game that I like. So when you look at Battlebond, okay, one key factor in this set is the MSRP. They didn't screw it up and charge $7.99. It's a regular pack price. They didn't put in as many, quote, feels bad mythics. In my opinion, as a player in the game, a mythic, when possible, should always mean a free pack. In my opinion, if you're putting something in the mythic slot, I only feel good about it if I double the value of the pack. That is the reality of paying money for cardboard. I wouldn't be buying $4 booster packs if the cards had zero retail value. That is the thing that sustains the market. As little as Wizards wants to identify it or point it, address it. This is what they tried to do with the last couple of master sets. Nobody wants to open a 50-cent mythic, especially in a set that they pay $10 for the pack. So when we look at some of the mythics and Battlebonds, this is one Battlebond. This is one area I could be wrong. If I am dead wrong, if Battlebond is to be a success, the first thing is the mythics have to be right. And early on, they're actually okay. You have cards that are pre-ordering, like Arena Rector, at $30 on Star City Games. You have Bramble Sovereign, $15. Land Tax, $25. Then you had, Rowan Kenrith. These Planeswalkers are pre-ordering at $15, which means they'll probably settle at $15 or $5. True Name Nemesis at $17 will probably fall to be about $10. These are all reasonable mythics. Doubling Season is pre-ordering at $50. The fact of the matter is, what is going to move boxes is if people can get close to getting their money back. EV matters. EV sells boxes. Good draft formats don't sell boxes at the same rate as EV does. Like, if the format is good and I like to draft it, I'll buy one box. If the draft is good and there's value in the set, now you have a home run with the casual players, the ones with disposable income that will buy cases and cases of your product. We are the ones that move the needle, not draft grinders. Sorry, this is just the reality of it. Now, Battlebond also, so they have the mythics, okay. The mythics are okay. What will really help too is if we see some high value rares. Diabolic Intent, for example, is a decent $10 pre-order rare. You have Greater Good, a nice rare. You do have a lot of jank rares though. A lot. Seedborn Muse, decent rare. You have Spellseeker, decent rare. I mean, there are some. And these lands that are going to see play in EDH, I believe, foil versions of them will probably be decent. Now, if they make the basic lands decent, this will have a good one-off sale, right? That I will be wrong if these cards retain value and the EV of the boxes go up. Now, the value of the cards is also directly proportional to how much it's opened and how much play these cards see, right? Pre-order prices are at best an indicator. Doubling Season, okay, we can be pretty sure that this is still going to be a $25 mythic after Battlebond, in my opinion, $20 to $25. So that's good. Do they have other mythics that will do that? I don't think so. Land Tax is another one of those good reprints, but it doesn't see wide scale play, right? You're going to see a light version of Mana Drain in there, where basically, it's cool, but not a lot of people need it, so the value plummets. Imperial Recruiter. Land Tax is a card that people want, but it's not like a standard card that everybody needs to help buoy the price up, right? So if the prices hold, I'll have a chance to be wrong. The other thing is, the biggest thing holding it back is the same thing that held back Conspiracy sets, in my opinion. Conspiracy was great, but you needed a box. The best way to play Conspiracy was with 8 people, and you draft with a big group of people, so you're burning up a box at a time. Conspiracy didn't sell well because they didn't have enough value in it long term, and people got sick of it. The first Conspiracy set as a one-off would have done better, would have been viewed as a success, in my opinion, if they didn't kill it with the next set, part 2. And if it had a little more value. Now, Ral Zarek was a crazy pull. At the time, you had stuff like foil Brainstorms. But when Conspiracy 2 came out, a lot of those uncommon or common foil versions that were first-time foils had already been reprinted. The EV was tanking other than outside of one card that randomly spiked in the set, and it sat on the shelves everywhere. So if Battlebond is a one-off, okay. But back to my point. Two-Headed Giant, in my opinion, is a primarily in LGS event. You need 4 people to play. It's going to have the same drawbacks that Conspiracy did. And it's only going to appeal to a small group of people. So my prediction was that it'll have a strong opening weekend as everybody plays Two-Headed Giant for the first time. But I don't find Two-Headed Giant to be as exciting or interesting as a standard draft. It appeals, in my opinion, to people who like EDH. And now EDH players are high-value customers, in my opinion. They spend the most money at local game stores. They hang out at local game stores more often than not because they need groups of people to play their game. So if I'm to be wrong about Battlebond, somehow what seems to be, in my opinion, a primarily in LGS format has to find legs at the kitchen table. It has to find legs outside of that. So you're going to need high EV, $80 to $100 boxes in EV at launch, in my opinion. And you're going to have to find an audience of people that actually want to play Two-Headed Giant. Now, I've read the comments. I read a lot of comments from you all, and it seems like there is some hype around Battlebond. And as critical as I am of Wizards of the Coast, you must believe that I want this set to be, I want them to succeed. I want the company to grow. I want them to make millions of dollars, and I want them to reinvest it in the game and make a better product for all of us. I want them to have money to spend on card stock that doesn't take a $25 card and make it worthless after 2 weeks after sitting on my desk. I want Wizards to win. I want them to succeed. But in order for Battlebond to do it, somehow you're going to have to get a huge section of your player base interested in a format that they've never been interested in before. And I think that's a huge upward battle. Let me know what you think. Did I miss another key point to Battlebond being a success? What do you think? Do you think they have a chance? Do you think now that we've seen most of the mythics out there, we're going to have any real EV to chase after? I'm interested to hear. Let me know in the comment section down below.